So I know before Sunday's game, Kliff Kingsbury was on a hot seat for a lot of y'all. And I know that sounds crazy because he started him, Jaden Daniels, and his offense started the season so hot, and then for fans to kind of turn on him, and some fans even go as far as saying they want him fired, which is crazy to me. Um, it seems like Tennessee reset that for everybody. Kliff, Jaden Daniels, his offense as a whole. Um, it brought back early season feeling when Kliff Kingsbury was being talked about as a head coach candidate, and how I came on and said, I don't think he wants to become a head coach, but we got to cherish him now because at some point he may get poached away. Then Kliff Kingsbury was asked about it a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month ago now, and he said if he decides to do that again, then he'll take what he's learning from here and Dan Quinn on to the next opportunity. So, that being said, he didn't necessarily say he wouldn't become a head coach again, or necessarily say he would. But I definitely think he will be presented the opportunity at some point. Could be as early as this offseason, as the Chicago Bears have announced that they have a major interest in Washington Commanders offensive coordinator Kliff Kingsbury to be their next head coach. Let's talk about it. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We on the Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about Kliff Kingsbury potentially becoming the Bears' new head coach after the season. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We want to roll to 8,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So, Kliff Kingsbury, he had a little rough spot. Like this last month, 3 weeks to a month, he had a little rough spot. So much so that people start to point to the point that he got figured out, and he has a history of getting figured out around week 8, week 9, week 10, and his offense is falling off of a cliff, no pun intended. Um, However, that came to a screeching halt after the 43 points that the offense put up against Tennessee on Sunday. After the game, there was a report put out there on social media that the Chicago Bears were interested in Kliff Kingsbury as their head coach. And it's an obvious reason why that is. You can put two and two together, but if not, I will explain it a little bit later. The Bears, they're a debacle, man. They're a debacle. They're a team that you can point to and say Washington broke their season, ended their season on that Hail Mary. We ended their season because they haven't bounced back since. Although they had plenty of opportunity to bounce back, they didn't bounce back since. And then the Lions game on Thanksgiving was just the final straw of it all. Just how you mismanage that ending right there when you have a clear opportunity to send it to overtime versus a Lions team that is one of the best, if not the best team in football. That was just crazy. So he had to go after that being Matt Eberflus. Now the Bears are focused on 2025. They have their quarterback of the future, who they deem is their quarterback of the future, in Caleb Williams. And now they look to pair him with an offensive-minded head coach. At least that's what I'm assuming. I think that's what you should do. And that's why they seem to be interested in Kliff Kingsbury at the moment. Obvious connection there. Kliff Kingsbury was the offensive coordinator there at USC when Caleb Williams was there. So that's the clear and obvious connection that they have. And I'll be quite honest with you. With the success that Kliff Kingsbury had with Jaden Daniels this season, I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Poles tries to interview for a head coaching job, because he's like, hey, look, if you can do that with the number 2 overall pick from this class, I'm pretty sure you can do that with the number 1 overall pick from this class and a guy that you have some history with. That's what I'm assuming. So I come on here to say I think Kliff Kingsbury could potentially be on a new head coach next year. I think the Bears have him on his radar. But again, at the end of the day, it's all up to him. Does he want to become a head coach? Is he ready right now? Or does he need a couple more years before he takes the opportunity again? Is he ready to go into a Chicago Bears team like that? And in my opinion, I think it's a good opportunity for Kliff. if he's ready. Now, if he's not ready, then don't do it. But if you're ready, do it. In my opinion, this is coming from a regular NFL fan and not just a Washington Commanders fan. Because if I'm a Washington Commanders fan, yeah, Kliff, no, I don't want you to go away. Because obviously I don't want him to go nowhere because I want him to be an offensive coordinator. But I gotta think realistically because that's all it's about in life is moving up, right? So if I'm Kliff Kingsbury, I'm weighing my options. Do I stay as Washington's offensive coordinator for one more year until I'm ready? Because I think he signed a 2-year deal. Do I use this 2025 season to fully polish myself, build my resume up some more, to then be qualified for a better be better qualified for a next head coaching gig? The con with that is you're probably not gonna get a more attractive job than Chicago. Because let's be real. Chicago is ready to win right now. It's the quarterback and head coach that they need to figure out as far as getting Caleb Williams the right guy for him and getting that right guy for Caleb Williams. They have their quarterback figured out, but they have to get the right guy to take him to that next level. And Kliff could be that guy. But is he ready and does he want to take the job is what we have to wait and see. It's a foregone conclusion that he's going to get interviewed. I'm already knowing he's going to get interviewed, that, especially if Washington makes the playoffs and potentially win a playoff game or two as a wild card team. He's definitely going to get an interview for sure. Now it's about if he's willing to take the job and opportunity that's going to come his way. If I'm Kliff Kingsbury, I would take it. I would. Because I don't think you're going to have a better opportunity than this. If you know that you're not a player, or if you know that you're not a coach that is able to build a team from ground zero up, this is your best opportunity. Ben Johnson, this is your best opportunity to become a head coach because you want the team to be already laid out for you. You don't want to have to do the grit, the grind to get this team from zero up until it's high to where it's good. And it's nothing wrong with that. Not every coach is that, a builder. Right? You have some coaches that's plug and play. Ben Johnson, this is your best opportunity to do that. You have a quarterback, you have a defense that's really good, you have some offensive weapons. Potentially could lose Keenan Allen this offseason, but you never know. He can come back. This is your opportunity. Same with Kliff. Now, if Kliff feels like he wants to build a team from ground up and he feels like he's not ready, then he finishes off his next season with Washington. And then he goes on his merry way if he does choose so to do that. This video could be pointless. If Kliff Kingsbury could turn down the interview and he could be Washington's head offensive coordinator only for the next couple years. But I just highly doubt seeing that. Because again, this is an opportunity that you really can't pass up, especially if you have the history with Caleb Williams like he does. I don't want him to. Like, don't get it twisted, y'all. I'm speaking from an NFL fan, but as a Washington Commanders fan, I don't want him to leave. I would love for Kliff Kingsbury to stay here as offensive coordinator forever, but that's just not realistic. No one just stays a coordinator forever. Like, I remember, and I don't know if this is just me being, oblivious to it, but I remember just a couple years ago, I swore up and down, man, Dan Quinn doesn't want to become a head coach no more, man. He's comfortable in Dallas. He's having one of the best, if not the best, defenses in the NFL. He's good where he's at. He doesn't want to become a head coach again. And people kept trying to tell me, nah, man, he wants to become a head coach again. He wants to, and I just would not believe it. And then, lo and behold, he becomes a head coach of my favorite team. So, don't think for a second that these former head coaches, now coordinators, aren't looking to get their feet back to where they were. Because I think once you become a head coach and get kind of demoted or go back down to a coordinator role, it's always that taste, that itch that you have of getting your team back because you had it before. So, I could be wrong about this whole thing. Kliff very well could turn down the job. But if there is some legit realness and validity to the Bears being interested in Washington's offensive coordinator, Kliff Kingsbury, which I think there is because of the history between the quarterback and the offensive coordinator of Washington, I think Kliff has to take that job if he wants to, because I don't think there's going to be a better opportunity that comes around like this. Like, let's say he doesn't take this job this year, but then in 2025, you then look at the teams that need coaches at that point. Some of those teams aren't going to have a second-year quarterback. Some of those teams aren't going to have a second or third-year quarterback at that time. Some of the teams aren't going to have a number one receiver in DJ Moore. Some of the teams aren't going to have a top defense like the Bears. So this is an opportunity I think you can't pass up on. Only one that I think that could be similar to this is maybe the Giants next season if they fire Brian Daboll. But I don't think they're firing Brian Daboll next year because I think the Giants are going to get their quarterback and they may have it figured out. If I'm being honest though, if Kliff elects to take the job, like I'm just thinking hypothetically next year, if the Giants fall off a cliff again next year and they decide to move on from Daboll, and let's say Kliff is that guy or whoever they decide to get, and if Kliff leaves, I would like Brian Daboll to replace Kliff Kingsbury as offensive coordinator. I ain't gonna lie. Look at the magic he did with Josh Allen, right? You can't tell me Brian Daboll can't cook up nothing on as an offensive coordinator solely. We'll wait and see what he does with this quarterback that he drafts this season, because this is gonna tell me all I need to know. But I'm more than certain that Brian Daboll. I don't know about him as the head coach. I can't speak for him as a head coach, but as an offensive coordinator, I know he could do some things with Jaden Daniels and turn this offense up even more. So that being said, man, let me just get about this in the comment section down below. Bears potentially interested in Washington's offensive coordinator Kliff Kingsbury. How do y'all feel about it down below in the comment section? As a Washington Commanders fan, I would hate to see him go because I want him here forever to call up this offense, but that's just not realistic. And as an NFL fan, I think if the Bears come knocking, he got to take that offer. But let me just about the video in the comment section down below. As always, me with Juan Gotti. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so we greatly appreciate it if you can reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. See you later. Peace.